Hey everybody, it's the crew of Phoenix Station here. I'm Trent.
And I'm Jal.
And I am Moltrazahn.
And it is time for our first ever Phoenix Files podcast. We are excited to bring it to you today. We're going to use this podcast to talk about some awesome things happening in the fleet, happening in Star Trek Online, and Star Trek in general, maybe just life as well. Who knows? But we are really excited to bring this to you guys really quickly. Maybe Jal and Moltrazahn, tell us a little bit about how excited you guys are.
I think it's fantastic that we are launching into this new territory of podcasts. This fleet has been doing some awesome things lately. We've been really getting a lot of momentum going, and now we have a space to talk about it. So that's cool.
I quite agree. It's nice to be able to vent one's thoughts and ideas, especially when it comes to past events, future events, and whatever is going on in the Starship community and in the game itself at present. So yes, this is definitely new territory, yet it is very exciting to breach into it.
Where
Awesome.
no fleet has gone before.
That's right, where no fleet has gone before. Well, maybe some have. I don't know. I don't know if we're the first. Are we the first? Do you think?
Probably not, but we can pretend.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, let's dive right in and talk about the Shadows story arc, if we Shadows have offended. Of course, we wrapped it up last night with our big finale episode. Of course, Lieutenant Caius Moraris, I hope I said that right, in sickbay, some pretty major injuries, and I don't know, I think it was a pretty dramatic finale.
I will say, as one of the participants that had absolutely no idea what was going on there, because obviously in these events, it is usually the staff that tends to lead the story, which means that you and Jal were pretty much on the beat in general of what was going on, though I understand there was some surprises to both sides, yet still, as a general participant who had no idea of what was going to happen, it was rather exciting to play with the other fleet members and seeing how the story unfolded. Very exciting, that.
Yeah, I was impressed that you managed to pull one over on me. I did not know it was going to be Mira Trent.
Yeah, that was a very last minute decision that was made between Caius and myself, and I think it worked out really well. I think it makes sense. You know, Mira Trent. For those of you that aren't aware, was subjected to a unauthorized mind meld while he was contained in the brig, and I think he holds that against a lot of people. He doesn't know that it wasn't sanctioned, but he knows that it was very unpleasant, and yeah, he had an axe to grind, I think, with the members of the Fifth.
What? Whoever would do that? Pfft, silly things.
Yeah, so and of course we got the merge taken care of. That was very important. Maybe, Joel, if you can, for our members that either were a little confused by it or didn't get a chance to go through the whole story, tell us a little bit more about the merge and what that was about.
Yeah, so something that was really exciting about this whole story arc was that it let us pull together a whole bunch of things to really establish what the nature of our presence in this new system of the Delta Quadrant was going to be. So we knew we had this anomaly around the planet, and you know we've got the visual in there in the game mechanic, but we didn't know what the anomaly was or what it did. You know, so it cloaks the planet, okay, but how does it do that? What does that mean? And then we had a couple one-off RPs. We had Natalin and Lewis go investigate this old structure. We didn't know what we were doing with the Spire fleet holding, and then we had this storyline where Trent got possessed at the christening ceremony for the Hyperion. So we started talking, and we were like, how can we pull some things together? And what happened is that everything fell together, which was really neat. So we decided that this anomaly is, you know, it creates the cloaking effect by creating a spatial distortion around the planet, essentially. And what we figured would happen is cyclically, you know, maybe every century or so, might be longer, might be shorter, those spatial distortions start getting really out of whack. And what it does is it starts creating all these rifts. And they are rifts between universes. So it only happens within the anomaly, so it only happens to the planet. And basically all the universes start merging and colliding. We hear a lot about the mirror universe, but there's also plenty of other parallel universes. So everything starts coming together. All the different versions of this planet come together, and that is naturally catastrophic. You have some universes that have different fundamental laws of physics that are incompatible. You have objects getting displaced, so we had some structural damage to our colony outpost because things just go missing. So we were having fun playing with that.
Well, I think overall, I think the story turned out great. I think people loved the plot. How would you guys say, just really quickly, how would you guys say the RP mechanics and the storyline went?
The RP mechanics in general seem to, well, generally through mass roleplay events in an MMORPG, you have a lot of people that always want to try to contribute, especially if they, know how to limit themselves, so not to scream out fanatically and try to get attention all the time. When you roleplay, with our fleet at least, I feel that people have come to a certain general respect as to listen to the people who are actually hosting the event, hosting the story, and even when everyone has been given a task, either in teams or individually, you and the staff have managed rather well to segregate it between channels, making sure that people don't overlap too much or that the chat box gets too spammed, if you will. So I felt that overall it was a very good setup for how to do roleplay in an environment with a lot of people.
I was really impressed in general with the turnout. I was really excited to see how many people showed up, and it did create an interesting challenge in terms of facilitating, but it was fun to experiment with breaking people up into teams.
Well, this is an awesome discussion about if we shadows have offended. We'll talk more about this a lot more in depth. We'll talk about the story and how it came about in our next episode. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, lots to dive into, and we can give you guys a bit more behind the scenes information about it.
Fantastic. Looking forward to talking more details. The devil's in them, as they say.
Oh, yes, definitely. I think in this case, that would be Mirror Trent.
Yes, definitely. He is to blame for everything that happened.
Everything.
With no exception.
Awesome. Well, we have some very exciting RP storylines in the pipeline. I know we've got one coming up probably in a couple weeks, I think, that I think everyone is going to really enjoy. So we have a lot coming for you guys in terms of RP, but there is also some new stuff happening in STO in general. We've got a lot of new and exciting stuff that's been announced the last few days and weeks. Let's start first with the newest one. We just found out about this today, the Discovery Lockbox coming to STO. Of course, maybe not everybody into Discovery. I know it's kind of a little bit of a controversial topic, maybe just a little bit, but some exciting stuff. The ship that the Discovery is, the Crossfield class Science Vanguard, is now available or will be through the lockbox. And there's some other awesome stuff that's coming in this new Discovery lockbox.
That ship looks awesome. They did a great job with that.
Yeah, I feel like it looks a lot like the ship in the show. I think they did a fantastic job, and they got that likeness down really, really well.
Indeed so. And to follow up in that same line of thought, the Sarcophagus Dreadnought Carrier.
Oh, I knew you were going to go for that.
Of course I am. I mean, a massive Klingon ancient warship that has the sarcophagi of dead fallen upon it. That's just something out of a Star Trek nerd's dream.
Some of the there will be a mirror vessel as well, the Walker class starship that was used as or I'm sorry, it's not the mirror ship, but it's the Shenzhou. That will be available as well. Some new traits also. If you haven't seen the news entry for it, check it out. We'll link it in the article below the podcast here. But some really awesome stuff. A new Starfleet EV suit from Discovery, as well as Discovery weapons. You can even get the Mud uniform, the Mud outfit Mudware's in the new show. So some exciting stuff there. Also, of course, it's the anniversary event coming up in just a couple of days. I think 3 days, the 8th anniversary of STO. Can you guys believe it's been 8 years?
That's crazy.
8 years of STO. Eesh. I feel old now.
I don't know. Have you guys seen this? Some of the stuff that they're giving out during the anniversary event. The new party popper.
Given that this is coming from the man who has a gun that seems to be shooting gold-pressed latinum and rainbows, I'm quite sure that you are very excited about a new gun that shoots something random.
You know it. I am very excited about anything that is ridiculous. So I will definitely be running around the colony growing plants with the protomatter party popper very soon. We are almost out of time, but we do have one more segment we want to do that we're going to do relatively regularly, and that is it's called Canon Rapid Fire. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some random articles off of Memory Alpha. Nobody has looked at these yet. I don't even know what they are. And we're going to do our best to try to talk about what they are very quickly. We've got... we're going to make this go very, very fast. So are you guys ready for this? You going to try this? This is the first time we're trying this, so we'll see how this works.
Ready for rapid fire.
All right, here we go. So the first item up is Terran General Order 4. Who knows what that is? Anyone?
Terran General Order 4. I have absolutely no idea what it is, but Terran, it sounds something like out of the Terran Empire. So Mirror Universe, it sounds like.
You're good there, yeah.
If it's coming from the Mirror Universe, it's not good.
Probably something that has something to do with shooting something that is not of the Terran Empire.
Yeah, close enough. If you want, I'll read it to you right now. It's any exotic species deemed a threat to the Imperial supremacy will be extinguished without prejudice.
Oh shoot, we just watched that episode.
Well, we did. Next article up, radiogenic particles.
I've heard this before.
They're really good R&D materials to have.
Yes, I'm just gonna vote on what you're saying there. Yes, definitely. When I need to make my omelet in the morning, I need these radio something materials, because otherwise...
Radiogenic.
Yes, those are the ones. Yeah, those are the ones I have in my egg tray. And without them, the omelet would be horrible.
All right, next up, hopefully you guys know what this is. Kolos. You remember who that is?
That is a person who we absolutely know stuff about, because we like Star Trek. Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's from Star Trek Enterprise. No? Nobody? Okay.
Sounds Klingon?
He is a Klingon, you got it. Okay, that's right. Kolos, of course, a veteran Klingon advocate. He helped, he defended Jonathan Archer, and ended up incarcerated at Repente, if you didn't know that. So Kolos.
Was he the old one?
Yes, he was very old, yes.
Okay, yes, I remember it now.
Yes, okay, and I've got one more. This one's going to be a little obscure. John Pavel. Anyone know who John Pavel is? Take a guess.
All I can think of is Pavel Chekhov.
No. It sounds like somebody who should be living at a time that is not the current Star Trek timeline.
Well, that's actually right. He's a 23rd century doctor, John Pavel, from, looks like he's from TNG, yes, in the episode The Child. So, there you go, John Pavel. Anyway, that is Canon Rapid Fire. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll try to refine that. We'll do a little better next time. I think we'll be all set. Anyway, that is the Phoenix Files podcast, our first episode. I am Trent, along with Joel Moltrazahn. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we will see you again for the next episode of Phoenix Files.